Well, hi fellas, Ben back again. This should be a decent enough background for the amazing video. That's the ocean for you fellas. The ocean is right there. Sometimes you gotta take the bike out or people will start to complain. Well, I don't know if the camera is able to get this well, but yeah, a nice good video, I guess. This should help. Again, this is strictly from experience. This is not from anything else. About 20 years of my life, I was into road riding, that is tarmac riding. And with tarmac riding, one really need not be concerned about the tire pressure. The tire pressure business is specific to off-road riding, especially when you go into terrain that you are not familiar with. Even if it's off-road terrain, if you're familiar, there's a big difference. You can run the stock tire pressures is because you know what to expect and you know how to counter it. But when you venture out into unfamiliar terrain, you are better off with dedicated tire pressures, depending on what kind of soil, what kind of surface you're riding on.
Okay, so they said that this is a manufacturing defect.
Move. Oh my god, this is fully open. Where is that other one? Yeah, no?
So that brings me to the topic of the day. What tire pressures? I keep getting messages on Instagram as to what tire pressure should you run on the Himalayan 450, on the 411, on this bike, on that bike, on this terrain, on that terrain. From my experience, well, I can give you a very good, nice, detailed understanding of what tire pressures translate to. As far as the layman is concerned, their understanding of tire pressure is basically to avoid punctures. It's predominantly coming from a place of avoiding punctures, and as far as people who are enthusiasts are concerned, enthusiasts would like to know traction. They would like to understand traction. So now, so the $1 million question: what is the right tire pressure on the roads for long distance touring and riding? On the tires that come along with the motorcycle. Wow, that's another area. Sorry, I missed that. Different tires, different tubes, different rim sizes, different air pressure. So if you're starting to modify things, if you're starting to play around with different wheel sizes, different tubes, different tires, then you should definitely be looking into the tire pressure. It should definitely be different from what the manufacturer recommends. So the rule of the thumb in general, if you are into tarmac riding, then the best tire pressure is the tire pressure that the manufacturer recommends. Now, why is that? That is simply because the manufacturer has taken enough time to test the tire pressures. They have taken these bikes, and these bikes have been on the roads forever and ever and ever. Well, with the Himalayan 450, I have seen the Himalayan being tested for about 2 years on these roads. These roads are just 2 blocks away from my place, and this bloody motorcycle has been on the roads for about 2 years before they put it out into the market. So a tire pressure that the manufacturer recommends is definitely something that they have tested for long hours. Excuse me, fellas, we'll have to let the truck pass. In a place like Chennai, where the average temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, a motorcycle being tested for 2 years should definitely translate into very, very good, numbers. These numbers are derived from serious hardcore testing. So if the manufacturer says 32 and 32, then stick to the bloody 32 and 32. Now, coming to subjectivity. Subjectivity is experience. So from my experience, what is my experience? My experience is about 20 years on the road, 20 plus years on the road, almost 25 years on the road, and about almost 5 years now, 4.5 years of off-road riding, all kinds of terrain, all kinds of traction felt. inclines, declines included, all kinds of jazz. Whatever experience I've had, from that I've understood that there isn't really a magic number. You have to be very, very observant, and you have to be. Uh, I mean, this isn't guesswork. You're not really guessing anything as long as you are very keenly observing and understanding and taking feedback and testing it multiple times. Whatever parameter that you want to understand, if you're willing to make observations, pen them down, and then test repeatedly, you will get very close to the actual truth of the matter. So that's the best way I can put it. So from my experience, the Himalayan 450, plenty of videos out there where the rims are starting to bend, plenty of cases. I think I just made a reel on Instagram, and about 50% of messages is unbelievable. 50% people saying that they have a bent rim too. And just imagine those numbers. So what are these numbers basically? These numbers are either a manufacturing defect with the wheels, the rims, or they are simply people not paying attention to tire pressure. So air pressure. And when the air pressure drops, your rims are being exposed to um, serious hits, sharp hits, and they bend. So, but it's just that you're not aware of the air pressure dropping, because the suspension plays a beautiful role in kind of making everything super smooth for you. So you're not really understanding the tire pressure, the air pressure that is starting to drop. Fantastic, isn't it? So they make the suspension so well that now you're just not sensing what's going on with the tires. Yeah, so the reel that I made on Instagram has been completely misunderstood. People have gotten the message wrong. I said that I have that I want you guys to not let. That's how I started. To not let the tire pressure drop below 28 psi. So the message of the video was 28 is the limits. If you come to know that you're dropping below 28, you should definitely fill it up. Anything below 28 is asking for trouble. That was the point of the video. The video was not me telling you to run 28 psi. I said I've been testing 28 psi and it is holding up well for me. Now, where am I testing 28 psi? I'm testing 28 psi on off-road terrain. As far as 32 psi front and rear off-road terrain is concerned, it feels a little jittery. This bike feels like it's on something really harsh, and the suspension does a beautiful job. But as far as the wheels are concerned, you can definitely feel the wheels. You drop the tire pressure to 28 psi and run it off-road, you will have a world of a difference. This is when you'll start to feel traction. Feedback will become so much better if you drop the tire pressure to 28 psi. Again, boils down to how sensitive you are to these changes. So 28 psi is the cap, is the limit, which you shouldn't cross. You shouldn't let the tire pressure drop below 28 psi. Otherwise, you could be risking your wheels. So I did try 22, 23 psi, 22 I guess, 22 psi, and 22 psi felt like I was hitting things. It became too much feedback, and too little air, and that definitely could have risked my rims. If these rims are strong, these particular ones on my bike, then I needn't be worried about 22 psi. I can run as low as 15 psi, and that should be totally fine for this machine, because this machine is supposed to go off-road, and these are spoked wheels. Unbelievable that spoked wheels one has to be careful and worried about. So that is something that definitely is a concern with the Himalayan 450. You don't really know if it is a manufacturing defect or if the wheel is like that, and you can't risk the tire pressure dropping because it will definitely get to the rim, and that's a bit of a tricky situation to live with, to strike peace with. Anyway, so coming back to the subject, so 28 psi. I tried 22 psi. I bumped it to 28 psi. 28 psi felt like a perfect understanding of traction and good performance, decent enough performance. 28 psi is also not going to risk it on the roads. At best, what's going to happen is you're going to wear out your tires faster, sooner. So, yeah, that is what I was trying to say in the reel. The point was not to go below 32 psi like the manufacturer recommends. The manufacturer says 32 psi, and 32 psi is for people who do soft road riding, off-road, mild off-road business, and a lot of tarmac riding. And this is not is exclusive for rock business. So if you are into rock riding, if you're starting to hit things again, 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 and you don't want the front or the rear to just keep bouncing and throw you off balance, then you should definitely go low on the tire pressure. So that was that. So what worked for me is 28 psi for all kinds of terrain, including tarmac, or 32 psi, and just leave it, forget it for tarmac only riding. And of course 32 psi can take on off-road riding like a piece of cake, but not really specific terrain business. Yeah, if that helped in some way, it helped. That's all there is to it. That's my observation. Then moving on to Ben, that is my Himalayan 411. Himalayan 411 has I have gone as low as 15 psi or 14 psi on the front, and about 22 psi on the rear. And my God, that thing is solid. Those three wheels are from RCB aluminum 7000 series wheels, and those wheels stay put no matter what you do with them all day long. I was surprised to see those wheels work so well on Ben, because Ben, the 411 is about 190 kgs, 185, 190 kgs, and those wheels are not really marketed as wheels for 190 kg machines. And I've been taking the 190 kg machine, I've been doing all kinds of jumps with it, I've been hitting rocks, I've been doing all kinds of rut riding with it. No problems at all. I took the wheels to a truer after about 2 years of riding off-road, and the truing specialist said that those wheels were unbelievably good for 2 years of off-road riding. He was surprised. He had very little to do to fix the rims. The rims weren't bad at all after 2 years of crazy stuff on a 190 kg machine. So on Ben with the RCB rims, I can run really low air pressures, and I can do terrible terrain and no problems. You don't have to be worried about it. You just need to come out of that off-road business, inflate your tires, and you're good to go on the roads as well. And on Ben with the steel rims, the factory rims, I've never gone below 25 psi on the front, 25 psi on the rear, and about 20 psi on the front. I've never dropped my tire pressure below that, is because I did bend my front rim and I dropped it to 15 psi again to do inclines. To do inclines, I dropped the pressure to 15 psi, and I tried pulling off that, and wow, left me with a bent rim. And I understood that 15 psi for the even the steel rims is a little bit of a risky business. Yeah, so it was a really bad bend. It was not just the lip, the side wall opening up. So coming back to this, if you've understood something from this, different tires, different rims, different quality, different tubes, different purposes. Everything is subjective. It boils down to what you do and how you do it, and how you do it. Now, coming to how you do it, that's another part. Well, that's another crazy area. So, are you an aggressive rider who likes to just smash on things and ride, or are you a more gentle, more very planned and graceful rider who likes to take on the right line and not really go smashing into things? Are you a very planned and careful, proactive rider? You plan your distance really well, and you let your brain do the riding for you more than your reflexes. If you're a reflex rider, if you're just about wanting a machine that can take on any kind of shit, and you just want to go bang 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 at with your clutch and your throttle, then I would say you need a set of really strong wheels. You have to be doubly, triply sure of your wheel setup. And if you're somebody who's very planned and very methodical, and you know where to call it quits, what not to try with your machine, so that you don't risk anything, then you have nothing to worry about. Stick to the manufacturer's recommendations: 32 psi front, 32 psi rear, and just do what you need to do. You don't have to really experiment. But yeah, if you are all about experimenting and if you're all about thrashing things and trying to test your limits, then you need to be very, very careful with what I just said. Never let the tire pressure drop below 28 psi on this. 28 psi felt like the perfect balance for traction and yet safety. This helped. It helped. That's all there is to it. Ben, signing out for now. Now, that is the ocean business. One more thing I can talk to you about is this. So, this is a totally different traction business. You can't really expect your 28 psi to work on this. You'll have to drop it even further. And a machine like this, which doesn't have much here, it only has something above 3000 RPMs. This would prove to be even more of a risk. So you'll have to drop the tire pressure to about, I could guess, below 20 psi, both front and rear, and you can be on this all day long. This will easily take your machine. So just saying, do not attempt this unless you are doubly, triply sure of your tire pressure. Go low and no problems.